Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, for this video right here, I want to talk about Donald Trump and international affairs. Donald Trump has become a Manchurian candidate for Russia. This man is Russia's puppet. Putin owns and controls this man. And every day it's becoming more and more apparent. One of Russia's goals is to undermine NATO, to undermine America's ties to its allies. And Donald Trump is helping Russia achieve that goal. Every day you're seeing example after example of this man undermining America's ties to long term allies. This man is imposing tariffs against countries like Canada, a long-time ally of the United States. This man is straining relationships with Western powers by pulling out of that Iran nuclear deal. This man is straining relationships with Western powers by recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. And I think that this is by design. This man is deliberately trying to sabotage America's ties to its allies. When you look at what happened with that G7 summit, Donald Trump, instead of strengthening the ties with America's allies, this man backed away from a statement where you had the G7 countries voicing their support for free trade and all that. This man backed out of that statement because he was upset because of something that the Canadian Prime Minister had to say about not being bullied by the United States. By, talking about how the Canadians are polite and all that kind of stuff, but they're not going to be pushed around and bullied. And that's what Donald Trump likes to do, bully and punk people and, treat people with disrespect. And I have respect for this prime minister for standing up to Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is destroying America's relationship with his allies. And not only that, this man who lectures people about patriotism, who lectures people about how they need to have respect for America and they need to honor America, this man who talks all this patriotism nonsense bashed Obama. This man talked about how Obama was to blame for Russia annexing Crimea. And we're going to talk about that in a second. He's blaming Obama for that. And while he's blaming Obama for these problems, for the problem with Russia and it annexing Crimea, this man has nothing but praise for Putin. This man actually talked about how he wanted Putin to rejoin the G7. He wanted Russia to rejoin the G7, even though Russia was expelled from the G7 because it annexed Crimea. And the word annex is a polite term, but really it comes down to this. Russia seized Crimea's territory. Russia basically came in and violated Crimea's sovereignty and just bum rushed them. Took over that land and claimed it as their own. And because of that, they were kicked out of the G8. And here you have Donald Trump going on record talking about how Russia needs to be a part of the G8. This man was praising Putin while he's bashing the first African American president in this country, and he wants to lecture people about patriotism. This man is a hypocrite. And the thing that's so odd about this, it's so brazen, it's so audacious, is the fact that while he's being investigated for colluding with these Russians, while he's being investigated for that, he's actually acting as an advocate for Russia. He's actually trying to lobby the G7 to put Russia back in the G7. If that isn't a sign that Russia has influence over this man, I don't know what is. This man is a disgrace. This man is a national embarrassment. While this man bashes Obama, while this man disrespects America's allies, he heaps all kind of praise on people like Putin, on people like Kim Jong-un, dictators. He's praising these dictators while he's disrespecting, people who are supposed to be about democracy and free trade and all that, disrespecting the former president of the United States. This man is a disgrace, and I'll be glad when he leaves the White House. I hope this man is impeached. He is not fit to be president. This man thinks that he's reached some kind of agreement. A lot of people are talking about this meeting he had with North Korea. I doubt that it's going to produce anything real. And according to all the reports, there are no substantive commitments. There's nothing of substance in that agreement. And, more likely than not, it will not produce anything. But yet, this is a man that's running foreign policy based on he has a feeling for something, like he has some kind of vibe, or he's in touch with certain things. He gets some kind of feeling or impression, and that way he'll know if the meeting went well or is going well, or if there's going to be some kind of good come out of a meeting. This is a man who's unfit, and every day we are reminded of how ignorant the American people were when they voted for this man. This is a man with zero political experience in charge of nuclear weapons, a man with zero political experience in charge of American foreign policy, a man with zero political experience in charge of American domestic policy. The American people should be ashamed of themselves for voting for this buffoon Donald Trump.